In the United States, police authority is shaped by a complex mix of constitutional law, state statutes, federal regulations, and Supreme Court rulings. And within this vast legal framework exist several hidden powers that most people have never heard of. Yet these powers affect millions of Americans every year and play a major role in how officers conduct traffic stops, searches, interrogations, and emergency responses. And the first hidden power that surprises almost everyone is the legal ability of us police to detain a person, briefly based solely on reasonable suspicion, a standard far lower than probable cause, meaning an officer only needs to articulate specific observations that suggest possible criminal activity. They do not need solid proof. They do not need confirmed evidence. And they do not need to witness a crime taking place. Because under the famous Supreme Court case, Terry v. Ohio, police may stop a person, ask questions, and even perform a pat-down frisk if they believe the individual might pose a threat, which gives officers enormous discretion on the street, allowing them to intervene early, disrupt potential crimes, and control situations quickly. It also means that countless people can be stopped even when they have done nothing wrong, making this one of the most powerful and misunderstood police authorities in America. The second hidden power that shocks many drivers is the automobile exception, a legal doctrine that permits officers to search a vehicle without a warrant if they have probable cause to believe it contains contraband, evidence, or illegal items. And unlike home searches, which almost always require a warrant, a car can be searched on the spot. Because the Supreme Court has repeatedly ruled that vehicles are mobile, evidence can disappear quickly, and roadside investigations must happen immediately. So if an officer smells drugs, sees suspicious objects, detects nervous behavior, or observes anything that might indicate criminal activity, they can legally open the trunk, check containers, inspect compartments, and look through the entire vehicle without your consent. And many people mistakenly believe they can refuse such searches, not realizing that the law fully supports the officer when probable cause exists, making this one of the most commonly used yet least understood police powers in the United States. The third hidden power is the authority of police to enter a home without a warrant under exigent circumstances, a term that covers emergency situations where officers believe immediate action is required to protect life, prevent serious injury, stop the destruction of evidence, or catch a suspect who is actively fleeing, and because courts prioritize public safety. Officers are allowed to break into a residence if they hear screaming, believe someone is in danger, smell smoke or gas, think a suspect just ran inside, or detect signs that evidence might be destroyed if they delay, leaving them extraordinary authority to override the usual constitutional protections surrounding private homes. And many Americans are unaware of how broad this power truly is, often assuming police need a warrant in almost every scenario, when in reality urgent situations allow officers to bypass the warrant requirement entirely. The fourth hidden power involves one of the most controversial tools in American policing: civil asset forfeiture, a process that allows officers to seize cash, vehicles, property, or valuables solely on the belief, not proof, that the items are connected to criminal activity. And unlike criminal cases, civil forfeiture does not require a conviction or even formal charges, meaning a completely innocent person can have their money taken during a routine traffic stop, their car seized during an investigation, or their property confiscated if officers believe it was used for illegal purposes. And the burden then shifts to the owner to fight in court to retrieve their belongings. A process that can be so costly and complex that many people simply give up, making this hidden power a major source of controversy and debate across the country. And although some states have restricted the practice, it remains widely used by police departments nationwide. The fifth hidden power rarely known to the public is the legal ability of American police to use deception during interrogations, a tactic fully approved by the Supreme Court, allowing officers to lie about evidence, fabricate witness statements, claim they have video footage or fingerprints, pretend that a co-suspect has confessed, or present false time scenarios, all strategically designed to pressure suspects into revealing information, correcting the officer's false story, or confessing to crimes. And while minors have some protections in certain states, adults can be questioned using deceptive tactics legally, giving officers psychological leverage that often leads to confessions, even in cases where no evidence actually exists. And Although critics argue this power contributes to false confessions, it remains a standard investigative tool in the United States. Beyond these major hidden powers, additional legal tools give officers even broader authority, such as the right to order both drivers and passengers out of a vehicle during any traffic stop for safety reasons without needing any suspicion, the ability to detain everyone present inside a home while executing a search warrant to prevent interference or danger, the power to collect fingerprints or DNA samples in many states from individuals who have only been arrested, not convicted, expanding national biometric databases, and the authority to establish sobriety checkpoints that allow officers to stop vehicles without individualized suspicion to test for impaired driving, a practice upheld by the Supreme Court as important for public safety. Modern policing in the U.S. also includes hidden technological powers through the use of license plate recognition systems that track vehicles across cities, facial recognition software that scans public areas for suspects, surveillance drones, predictive policing algorithms that identify areas or individuals where crime is statistically likely, and stingray devices that mimic cell towers to collect phone data from large groups of people at once. And while these technologies are not always visible, they quietly provide law enforcement with vast investigative capability. All of these hidden powers operate under legal justification, rooted in the Fourth Amendment. Decades of court decisions, and evolving policing strategies designed to balance liberty with safety. The reality for ordinary citizens is that officers often possess far more authority than they appear to during routine encounters. And not knowing these powers can leave people vulnerable to mistakes, misunderstandings, and unnecessary escalation, which is why understanding the law is critical. Whether one believes these powers are essential for safety, or too broad and open to misuse, the fact remains that us, police, operate with a level of discretion and legal backing that many Americans simply do not know about. And recognizing these hidden authorities is the first step toward protecting your rights, staying calm during encounters, and navigating a system that relies heavily on both officer judgment and constitutional interpretation, making awareness not just useful but necessary in a country where policing plays such a powerful role in daily life.